Have you ever wondered, how does ChatGPT know what to say? How does it finish your sentence, summarize your email, or even write poetry? Welcome. In this module, we unpack the magic behind Gen AI tools. Let's talk about how large language models, or LLMs, actually work. Don't worry, no heavy math, no dense jargon, just a simple, clear explanation, like you're having coffee with a techie friend. So, what is an LLM? An LLM, or large language model, is a type of artificial intelligence that's trained to understand and generate natural human language. Think of it as a very powerful autocomplete engine. Except instead of just suggesting the next word in your text message, it can write paragraphs, stories, code, songs, and more, just from a single prompt. It's called large because it's trained on a massive amount of data, books, articles, websites, and conversations, often trillions of words. Let's break it down. You give it a prompt, a question, a request, an instruction, and the model responds with what it thinks is the most likely continuation of that prompt. For example, if you type, "The capital of France is," it's seen that sentence millions of times during training and knows the next word is probably Paris. Simple enough, right? But now imagine you ask, "Can you write a poem about Paris in the style of Shakespeare?" The model doesn't just retrieve a copy of something it memorized, it generates a new response, word by word, that fits the style and context of your request. So, is it smart? Well, not in the human sense. LLMs like GPT or Claude don't actually understand meaning like we do. They don't have emotions, intentions, or awareness. They're just extremely good at spotting patterns in text and continuing them in realistic, useful ways. You could say they're like prediction engines, always guessing the next best word. Imagine you're texting someone and your phone suggests words as you type. That's a basic language model. Now, imagine that instead of suggesting one word, it could predict your entire sentence, finish your email in your tone, write a novel based on your outline, answer follow-up questions like a tutor. That's the leap from basic prediction to a large language model. It's still just predicting, but doing it with such skill, scale, and nuance that it feels like understanding. How is an LLM trained? Let's simplify. Training an LLM is a lot like raising a child who reads everything. We give it massive amounts of text, books, Wikipedia, newspapers, Reddit, forums, even code. And we ask it to play a game. Given all these words, what word likely comes next? So it keeps guessing, and we correct it, again and again, billions of times. This is called unsupervised pre-training because no one's labeling the data manually. The model just learns by reading and predicting. Eventually, it becomes so good at guessing that it can write emails, translate languages, answer questions, and even debug your Python code. Behind all this magic is a type of neural network called a transformer. Developed by Google researchers in 2017, it changed the AI game forever. The transformer lets the model process words in relation to all other words in a sentence, not just one at a time. Understand context, like who she refers to in a paragraph. Handle long-form text better than older models. You don't need to know the math, just remember, transformers are the brain behind LLMs. Now, raw LLMs are powerful, but kind of like a wild genius. They might say strange, biased, or unsafe things. So developers add a second step. Fine-tuning with safer data, reinforcement learning from human feedback, RLHF, where real people guide it to behave more helpfully and safely. This is what turned GPT-3 into ChatGPT and what makes Gemini or Claude safer and more useful in real-world use. LLMs are amazing, but let's be honest, they're not perfect. They can hallucinate, meaning make up facts or citations that sound convincing but are wrong. They don't understand emotions or ethics, they mirror what they've seen. They have no memory unless given one, though newer models, like ChatGPT with memory, are changing this. That's why prompt engineering matters, because the better you ask, the better the model performs. So, why learn how LLMs work? Because understanding what's under the hood helps you. Write better prompts, predict what the model will do, avoid common errors, and use AI tools responsibly and creatively. LLMs are not magic, but they're close enough to feel magical when used well.